Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today is a beautiful, slightly chaotic day in the soap world, and we have so much drama to unpack. Grab a giant cup of coffee or whatever you need to get through this, because we are diving deep into the absolute madness of this week's episodes. So let's just get right into it, because honestly, I am still reeling from what they are setting up for Monday, July 6th. And let me tell you, it is a lot. It is a whole lot of emotional damage, and I am just sitting here typing this out trying to make sense of it all. The writers are really pushing these characters to the absolute brink right now. I mean, we all knew that Hope defecting to Logan was going to cause some shockwaves. We knew Steffy was going to lose her mind and Ridge was going to throw a tantrum. But I don't think any of us were actually prepared for the sheer level of devastation that Brooke Logan Forrester was going to inflict on her own daughter. And now we are seeing the physical fallout of that. Because Hope is completely broken, literally. At the end of the last episode, we saw her just completely collapse on the floor of the Logan Gallery after Brooke essentially disowned her and kicked her out of the cabin. And on Monday, we are going to see the immediate aftermath of that collapse. Liam is going to be the one to find her, after a frantic search where he's just running around trying to figure out where his wife went. He finally tracks her down. Liam already had this really bad feeling. Bill and Katie tried to warn him that things were getting heated, but Liam just knew in his gut that something was horribly wrong, and he was right. So he walks into the gallery and he just finds Hope lying there unconscious on the floor. Just passed out cold right where Brooke left her. And I can only imagine the sheer panic that is going to go through Liam's head in that moment. I mean, seeing the person you love just lifeless on the floor, it's terrifying. He's going to be absolutely freaking out. Liam is going to rush over to her and frantically try to shake her awake. And thankfully, she does wake up. The spoilers say Liam manages to rouse her, and she slowly regains consciousness. And of course, Liam is going to be asking a million questions. What happened? Who did this? Did you fall? Hope is going to have to explain to him that she just got so dizzy and so overwhelmed by her mother's cruel accusations that her body just gave out. She had a massive panic attack and just collapsed. The emotional stress of losing her mother, of being evicted from her home, of having her entire family turn their backs on her. It was just too much for her system to handle. But here is where it gets really interesting and honestly a bit frustrating. Liam, being the logical one in this specific moment, is going to insist that they go to the hospital, which, yeah, obviously, if you pass out randomly after a screaming match, you need to get checked out by a doctor. But Hope is going to stubbornly refuse. She's going to downplay the whole thing. She will probably say it was just stress, she forgot to eat, she's just overwhelmed. You know the drill. But Liam is going to keep pushing. He really thinks she needs a medical evaluation just to be safe. And I am sitting here wondering, is this just a random panic attack? Or are the writers setting up a massive medical crisis for Hope? Let's be real. In the soap opera world, a sudden fainting spell is never just a fainting spell. It's always a symptom of something bigger. Could Hope have some kind of underlying condition? A brain tumor, heart problems from the stress. Or maybe I'm being too dramatic. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. Usually, when a family is this torn apart, the only thing that brings them back together is a life-or-death medical emergency. If Hope is seriously sick, maybe that is the only thing that will snap Brooke out of her cold, vindictive fury. Because right now, Brooke doesn't even know that Hope passed out. The collapse happened after Brooke stormed out. So Brooke is just sitting somewhere stewing in her anger, completely unaware that her words literally broke her daughter physically. What is Brooke going to do when she finds out? Will she feel guilty? Or will she just blame Katie for putting Hope under so much stress? Knowing Brooke lately, she will probably blame Katie. And speaking of stress and broken relationships, we have to talk about the absolute mess happening over at the beach house. Because wow, just wow. Electra Forrester is making a heartbreaking decision on Monday, and it is going to change everything. A few episodes ago, Electra finally figured out that Will Spencer had been lying to her face for weeks. He hid the fact that Hope was defecting to Logan. He hid the fact that Wyatt and Shauna were launching a rival jewelry line. He hid the fact that the hope for the future diamond was being used by the enemy. And Electra, who runs the jewelry division at Forrester, was completely blindsided and humiliated. So on Monday, we are going to see the climax of this huge confrontation between Will and Electra. Electra is just done. She is so hurt and so betrayed. She thought they had promised no more secrets. She thought she was the priority in his life. But instead, Will chose his family's company. He chose Bill Spencer's ruthless business tactics over his own girlfriend. Will is going to try to defend himself. He's going to use the exact same terrible advice that Bill gave him. He'll say it was just business. It wasn't personal. He was forced into secrecy by his family. He'll try to explain that he was in an impossible situation because Forrester fired him and he had to be loyal to Logan. But Electra is not having it. And honestly, I don't blame her. I mean, how can you build a relationship with someone when you know they will easily lie to you if their dad tells them it's just business? Electra feels like she should come first. She feels like their relationship should be more important than corporate espionage and fashion wars. So she makes the call. She is breaking up with Will. She tells him it's over and she starts packing her bags to move out of the beach house. It is going to be such a sad, heavy scene because you can tell these two really did care about each other, but the trust is just completely gone. Will is going to be desperate. He is going to practically beg her to stay, trying to find any way to fix this, any way to keep her from walking out that door. He really, really doesn't want to lose her. But then, in walks RJ Forrester. Oh my gosh, you guys, the timing of this is just so perfectly soapy and ridiculous. Just as Electra is trying to leave and Will is trying to physically or verbally stop her from walking out, RJ literally bursts through the door. I can almost picture it. He probably heard about the breakup or just sensed that Electra was in distress because RJ always seems to be hovering around waiting for Will to mess up. RJ is going to be so happy on the inside. I mean, he is going to be absolutely thrilled that Electra is finally dumping Will, but on the outside, he's going to play the protective hero. He's going to storm in and demand that Will let her go. He's going to tell Will to back off and leave her alone. I can almost hear Electra saying, "Oh, RJ, my hero." In her head, it's so cheesy, but it's exactly what is happening. RJ is going to swoop in and rescue the damsel in distress from the big bad Spencer heir. Will is going to be furious. He is going to tell RJ to mind his own business and back off. Will is already losing his girlfriend. The last thing he needs is his smug rival standing in his living room acting like a savior, but RJ is not going to back down. He has no intention of leaving without Electra. And the spoilers say RJ is going to officially escort Electra out of the beach house, taking her away from Will for good. This is going to ignite a massive, bitter war between Will and RJ. I mean, they already didn't like each other, but now it is deeply, deeply personal. Will is going to blame RJ for interfering, and RJ is going to feel totally justified because Will lied to Electra. But wait, we have to zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture here. Because what does all of this mean for Melissa Dillon? Poor Dillon is caught right in the middle of this messy romantic quadrangle. Let's remember the facts here. Dillon is currently dating RJ. They just had that whole passionate encounter at the beach house. But Dillon also has massive, lingering feelings for Will. She has been secretly crushing on Will for a long time, but she backed off when Will and Electra reunited. Now that Will is suddenly single again, what is Dylan going to do? On one hand, she might see this as her chance to finally be with Will. She might hope that she can comfort him and win his heart now that Electra is out of the picture. But on the other hand, she is supposed to be friends with Electra again. If she immediately swoops in on Electra's ex-boyfriend, that friendship is dead forever. And then there is the RJ factor. Dylan is dating RJ, but RJ is clearly still obsessed with Electra. I mean, he literally ran to the beach house to rescue her the second he got the chance. Dylan has to be watching this and realizing that RJ's heart is not fully with her. Does Dylan even want RJ anymore if he's just going to drop everything to save Electra? Or will Dylan decide that she actually prefers RJ over Will now, and she gets jealous of RJ's attention to Electra? It is a complete disaster waiting to happen. The writers have tangled these four characters up so tightly that no matter who makes a move, someone is going to get hurt. And honestly, I am kind of here for it. It's messy, it's petty, it's classic soap opera drama. But let's circle back to the main event here. The overarching theme of this week seems to be the destructive nature of secrets and family loyalty. Will lost his relationship because he was loyal to Bill and Katie's secrets. Hope lost her mother because she kept her defection a secret until the last possible second. Both of these young characters thought they were doing what they had to do for their careers and their respective family businesses, but the cost was so incredibly high. Hope is literally collapsing from the trauma of it all, and Will is left standing alone in an empty beach house watching his rival walk away with the girl he loves. Who actually believes this is going to end well for any of them? Katie and Bill are celebrating their big corporate victory right now, but at what cost? They have essentially destroyed Hope's relationship with Brooke, and they have ruined Will's relationship with Electra. Are a few good press reviews and some jewelry sales really worth tearing your family apart? And what about Brooke? Maybe I'm being too harsh on her, but her reaction to Hope has just been so extreme. Yes, Hope lied. Yes, Hope went to the rival company. But to kick your own daughter out of her home. To look her in the eye and say you can't even look at her the same way anymore. That is cold. That is so incredibly cold. Brooke has made so many mistakes in her life. She has kept so many secrets. She has betrayed so many people. For her to suddenly act like the moral authority on loyalty is just wild to me. I really hope Liam can talk some sense into Hope and get her to a doctor. Because if Hope really is sick, Brooke is going to have to live with the fact that her last words to her daughter were filled with nothing but pure hatred and rejection. So what do you guys think? Are we looking at a major medical storyline for Hope? Is it a brain tumor, a heart condition, or just a really bad panic attack? And whose side are you on in the beach house breakup? Was Will justified in keeping corporate secrets, or was Electra right to walk away? And do we think RJ is actually going to win Electra's heart, or is Dylan going to cause some trouble? Let me know your thoughts down below, because I need to know I'm not the only one losing my mind over this show right now.